Hello and welcome. My name is Jonathan Gernon, and this is my MBA 510 History and Theory of Public Administration Week 4 multimedia presentation. The title of this presentation is Keeping the Lights On. Today I'm going to be taking a look at public utilities versus private utilities. There are many similarities between the two of them, and there's also some differences between the two of them. And then when we're done, we're going to take a look at a couple real-life examples of why does it even matter whether you get your electricity, your water, or anything of that nature from your city government or from a private utility. Now, first, trip back in time just a little bit. We need to go back to a mill. That's right. Now, you guys were wondering about why we're watching a mill, when in reality we're talking about electricity. But the fact is that the Mother Brook Mill was the first public utility that was ever created, and it actually more like this. It was a water mill. It was designed for someplace where the people could go and they could grind their grain. When the mill was completed, it was turned over to the public, and the public was able to use it. All that lies there today is a little bit of a memorial. There are some similarities between a publicly ran utility company and a privately ran utility company. Most of that is going to lie in, well, the task that they provide and the services that they provide. A water company is going to provide water. A electric company is going to provide electricity. You guessed it. Now, to get those services to you, they are going to need some personnel. So we're going to be taking a look here at Maslow's hierarchy of needs. If you have a company, you're going to need to take care of these. Within a utility company, we're going to be looking at a lot of physiological needs. People are going to be going outside, they're going to be working on power lines, they're going to be working on water pipes, they're going to need to be taken care of. That includes all of their food, shelter, and comfort. From there, we do have some dangerous jobs like I was talking about. We're talking about power lines, we're talking about high pressure water. There's going to need to be things in place in order to keep them safe. Once they've accomplished that, then they're going to need to fulfill their social needs. They're going to need to be able to take care of each other. They're going to need to form semi-bonds of relationships, friendships. And through that, they're going to be able to build their esteem, move up through the company, get out of the trenches and stop hanging wires and get into an office where they're going to be able to make some decisions. And then finally, the fifth step, they're going to be able to have some self-actualization. That means they're going to be able to really just feel good about themselves. The other thing that they're going to need if they're doing this is they're going to need some kind of structure, and the management's going to be able to provide that for them. The person out on the line that's going to be doing all the work in the field is not going to be responsible for staffing, coordinating, reporting, budgeting, directing, and planning. That's going to be taken care of at the manager level. And this is Erwick's work of the chief executive. Now, the private companies who were originally bringing utilities to everybody wanted you to see them like this. Your nice friendly repairman, new lower rates coming, everything's good. But in reality, the public saw it more like this. So with these monopolies in place, with these out of control rates, steps were taken in order to get these rates under control. One of these ideas was to, you guessed it, make these public. So when it was a private utility, it was providing the service and it made a profit for the company. SoCal Edison, great example. Rates keep going up every year, but you're still receiving the same services. Eventually, the public cries, enough's enough, and they're taken over. So usually there's a little bit of a legal battle that goes on within these types of situations because the private utility doesn't want to lose their money. They don't want to lose their cash cow. So a lot of times it's put to a vote. eventually the voting wins and we create a public utility. The Los Angeles Department of Water and Power is a great example of this. They provide services to many of the LA residents. Along with this, though, we have differences, where before you're working for profit, you're now working for a nonprofit. Where before you answered to shareholders, you now answer to the public. These are outlined in Appleby and Graham Allison's theories. Let's talk for a moment about why it matters. The town of Apple Valley. For those of you that don't know, if you are driving up the 15 towards Las Vegas and you look over to your right and you see a big bank of lights after you get past the Cajon Pass, that's going to be the area of Apple Valley. Now, Apple Valley was having a problem with Rancho's Water Company. People were getting water bills in the $300, $400 range, and Apple Valley decided, hey, it would be a good idea to go ahead and take these over. They had to have 2 special elections, one to determine if they could take over the water company, and one to fund the water company takeover. The Apple Valley, town of Apple Valley, had just finished taking over a public golf course and turning it into the town of Apple Valley Golf Course. And that didn't go so well. So here's a good depiction on how difficult it can be, because we're now going to go from a group of professionals who do nothing but run a water company to a town who does nothing but run the town. And just in case you thought that you would get out of the hot water once your local municipality took over your water company, you might be wrong. In 2016, a lawsuit was waged against the Los Angeles Water and Power. Now, this lawsuit claimed that Los Angeles Water and Power was charging 8% profit, and that equated to a tax. The judges agreed, and a settlement was reached in the neighborhood of $52 million that had to be given back to LA Water and Power members. What they were doing with this money is they were taking the extra money and moving it over to the general fund to cover things like pensions and other shortfalls. So, an error of caution. Thank you guys so much for coming and joining me here today. I appreciate it. I hope that you guys have a wonderful day. If you have any comments or questions, please feel free to leave them on the discussion board. Thank you so much.